The following broadcast is brought to you by
Elite Performance,
What's Poppin' Corn Snacks? Printed Memories.
Revved Up Tattoos,
The Fighter's Friend.
Doc Sports Service,
The One's Kitchen.
Inner Beast Sportswear,
BWSPORTS1, sports media marketing and design. Check us out at BWSPORTS1.com. It's another original BW Sports 1 production.
Pew pew!
What is going on? What's poppin'? That's right, the 6-0 Eagles are flying. Eagles flying high. That guy right there is the one. This guy right here is the lion. Together, we are the Dukes of Football.
That took all of 2 seconds.
I mean, come on, man. We just beat the dog crap out of my favorite team to beat the dog crap out of twice in the same season. That's number one. Christmas Eve, my wife's birthday, that will be the second one.
And that would be the Colts.
What?
Would that be the Colts game?
No, that's the
That'd
Cowboys.
be part 2 Cowboys game.
Part 2 is Christmas Eve.
Awesome. That should be great. Glad she's a Colts fan.
I don't think she is anymore. I saw her sporting some green over the weekend.
Oh, I would no, you can't do that.
Not on Saturday. She did on Saturday, but on Sunday as well. And we'll get to that Saturday deal here in a little bit.
All right. So, well, that asks the question. So, did you have a great little extended weekend there, my good man?
I did. Thursday, did a little Brown Countying. Did a little jack-o'-lantern spectacular down in Louisville. Friday, did nothing but walk around the Covered Bridge Festival. And then Saturday, we went up to God's Country up north in the Bend and watched the sad-ass Irish. God, man, that hurts. I'll get to that. But you know what? I had an awesome time with my daughter and wife. And then I went to the One's Kitchen on Sunday before the game to pregame festivity it up with you, the wife, the storm, the mama, the cats, and had some wonderful the One's Kitchen food right before the game. Thank you, sir. That was awesome. It was amazing. It was wonderful.
Wonderful. I like that one. We have to write that one down. It was wonderful.
That's note card worthy right there, folks.
Yes. I haven't actually seen my mother since the Cowboy game. No, I did. She came over and got some pot roast Monday.
Well.
But it was gone just as fast.
What
She's in Cowboy hiatus.
What better way to soak that sorrow down but some good pot roast?
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. It was one of the many birthday meals that I've made myself and the fam over the weekend, and that we are still celebrating as the week goes on, because the birthday was actually Monday. So if it falls on the week, you get both weeks at our age. You get both weekends. You know
we just don't count them as we just don't count the numbers. We just celebrate the time.
Yeah, because you miss some people, you get some people on the back end. So, but other than that, it was great. The weekend meals went off on a bang. It was a good order. People were satisfied. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm liking. You know what I mean? I just want people to experience good food from Indianapolis. So that's what it is. So, and then we go into what do we go into? We go into.
I mean, real quick, it's a shout to the NBA season tipping off. I say kickoff, it's football, but we're going to tip off in the NBA, and make sure to stay on touch with the boys over at the State of Basketball. And an exclusive design will be put up on Printed Memories on the shop for you to get very soon for the State of Basketball.
Well, holy schmackers, I got a long list of things I need to do.
Oh no!
But yeah,
no,
we
no,
kicked
no.
off
I
the
got something for you.
we kicked off the new NBA season. It started yesterday. But we kicked off our show Monday, Storm and I, for NBA or for the State of Basketball. Hadn't really got into any local stuff with Matt Green for high school or any college stuff because they just really started their full start of their season. They haven't got any games. I think the games start late October, November for college when they start doing those tournaments. You love those Thanksgiving, November tournaments. So with the COVID back, this should be gone, so to speak. So it should be great. What am I looking for? Games.
There you go.
Games. So there we go. But let's get into the show. We're gonna do our local memories. Local memories brought to you by Printed Memories. Get all of your direct to print needs at one local spot. Call 317-494-18. No, that is not right. Call 317-494-0811. Today, know that the boys of BW Sports 1 sent you. And since we're talking about local memories, we're talking about high school and everything local. So that brings in our local insider for high school football, guy I've known for the last 5 or so years. Our daughters have played basketball together and against each other. We've cheered together and against each other. But the only downside to this guy is that he is spoiled. He is ruined. You know how Stewie says it, old family guy. Ruined. He has ruined his kids by giving them that ridiculous thing called a Buckeye. I mean, a Buckeye. Buckeye. Who's scared of a Buckeye? Unless it's poisonous.
We all can't be perfect, man. Let's get it straight.
Hey, so I'm not going to say this on the air, but stay after. When we go off air, I got a joke for you. By then, you'll be all opened up. We'll be good.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks, fellas.
He said when a Notre Dame, a Buckeye, and a Wolverine walk into a bar. I have no idea. I haven't made the joke up yet.
Shots.
All right, so Jay, what's been up with you, man? I hear you started writing for the paper.
Yeah. First year, it was just a way for me to stay close to the game of football. Obviously, being 40 plus at this point, I'm not going to be playing anymore. Just kind of in my mind, imagining myself, throwing for touchdowns or running for touchdowns. But really just saw the opportunity. Local newspaper, Hamilton County Reporter, had the opportunity to witness a lot of really good high school football here in Hamilton County. As well as some of the counties down in India, as well as Marion County, some of the schools down there. So really, really exciting. Got to stay on the sideline there and really get a very good view of all the action going on. So
I bet. That's awesome. Well, we definitely thank you for coming on with us tonight. And we cannot wait to hear some of your aspiring knowledge in the game of the gridiron.
Yeah. When it comes to my knowledge of the game, I think I have a lot of great knowledge, but come to find out, I don't. You might see behind me, I do have a first grade Super Bowl championship here. So that's about the extent of my knowledge of the game. That was my zenith, if you will. But all downhill from that point.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's why he's an Ohio State fan, folks.
There you go.
I knew the dig was coming, man.
It's not the first. It won't be the last. No, so the state tournament starts off this weekend for sectionals. Last week we explained to some of our viewers the breakdown with sectionals, or the breakdown how this tournament goes with Indiana, because different states have different terminologies. Some regions or districts, some area they come regions, districts, areas. So we had to break it down a little bit. But sectionals is the first round of our tournaments when it comes to state high school tournaments. This is our first round of those tournaments. So going into the tournament, who are the teams that we as Indiana people should be looking forward to make a deep run in the state tournament?
Yeah, really a lot of great talent here in the state of Indiana. And I would even remind you that Indiana does it a little bit different. So we have 6 classes of football. Class 5A and 6A, they don't get started until next weekend. So certainly this week, things get kicked off for classes 1A through 4A overall. When it comes to 1 through 4A, really a couple teams that really pop out in my mind, especially when I think local. First is New Kyle and Ron Colley here in the Indianapolis area. In a nutshell, both of those schools are a lot better than a lot of the teams in the 4A. Unfortunately, both those teams are going to probably face each other in the regional. But look for either New Powell or Ron Colley to kind of take that 4A crown this year. I'd be very shocked if we see anything else. Also in 1A, Indianapolis Lutheran is a team that you should know about. 1A school, obviously very small, but they have a kid, and just forgetting his name at the moment, but they have a sophomore quarterback that is absolutely really amazing. You kind of think Arch Manning at that age. I'm not going to say he's that good per se, but I mean, the kid had 35 touchdowns this year. In Indianapolis Lutheran, even though they are 1A team, according to Sagarin's ratings here for high school, they're a top 15 team. So, you put them in any other class, and certainly they'll be able to compete. When it comes to some of the other classes, 2A, 3A, a lot of those teams are outside of I would say, the greater Indianapolis area. 3A, West Lafayette, really good team. I expect them to take 3A. They're like 5 undefeated 3A teams. So could be some surprises there. When it comes to 2A, Linton Stockton, for sure.
All right. I got a question for you, James. So do you like the way that Indiana does the tournament play itself, as far as we're going to put these sectionals here and separate all the sectionals and rank each sectional like it is? Or the talk around town recently again has been rank them all together in one and play it out that way. What is your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. My thought is, and this is something Ohio, and we're home of the Ohio State, in case you guys don't remember. This is where I think they get it right. They rank the schools based on your regular season. So you have a great regular season, you get the number 1 seed, you play the lowest seed, you have an easier path to the championship. Indiana gets that wrong. I was going to talk about some of the 5A and 6A teams, especially here in Hamilton County. We're going to have Westfield and Carmel face each other. Probably 2 of the better teams in the state. They're going to face each other in the first round of the sectional. Both teams have played tough schedules and persevered in most cases. But, once again, I don't think we'll get a true idea of who's kind of the best as we, progress in the tournament.
Well, that's not just football. That really affects the basketball side of things too.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sectional that happens to be that my girl is in with the Carmel sectional. I don't even know whose sectional is now. I think it's Noblesville sectional this year. It's like the hardest sectional. Well, it used to be the hardest sectional of the state, with Ashland defecting and going private. It might not be, but like all the good teams play each other the first 2 rounds.
Wait a minute, hold on. Where'd she go?
Oh, she went to a private school up north.
He went to a prep
Yeah.
school.
Yeah,
Yep.
prep school. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Last year, it was something like 5 of the top 10 teams were in the same sectional, something like that. And I think it's very much you see that same thing in football. You know, talked about some of the smaller schools. When you talk about 6A, Class A football, 32 teams, obviously the biggest schools in the state. HSC, Carmel, Fishers, Westfield, you know, these are 4 of the top 10 teams, and they're all kind of playing in that same regional and kind of knocking each other off. So, just like you said with basketball, we see that same thing in football overall.
Yeah, I think it sucks. I'd like them to do the number 1 plays the number 32 and knock it out like that. And I mean, I'm even not against, you know, listen, hey, I get it. It's high school. Everybody gets a chance. But really, do we really want to see some of these first round sectional games where they shouldn't even be in? But then you have those cases like, who was it last couple of years? Somebody had won like Lawrence North, I think it was. It won like 3 games in the regular season and went to damn near went to state when it came to the tournament.
Yeah, it got right at the hot time. I think it completely almost invalidates the regular season. You know, right? You can go theoretically 0-9 and still make a run. You know, you bring up a good point. It might even make sense to kind of have a qualifier. So maybe instead of 32 teams making it, I know we're in that generation where everybody gets a trophy and everybody wins, but that being said, reward success. You know, I mean, I think it's a good life lesson for all kids, right?
Because we don't reward success, and at least in high school sports. Because what's the point of having conferences if you don't get any advantage for winning that conference?
Yep.
Because you get the same draw, get the same pool as all the other schools. So I think they should go to that. That's me personally.
Yep. I agree. All right. That's the limelight of the local scene. Damon.
Hey, and just want to make it, James, you are more than welcome to hit us up with your knowledge on high school football throughout the tournament.
I was gonna say, guys, let me give you a real quick. I did a little overview of the smaller schools. If I got a couple moments,
my bad.
I could talk about the big schools. Yeah. So right now, I have the top 4 teams, at least in the state. It's HSC, Cathedral, Center Grove, Browns, and Brownsburg, and all of those teams I can kind of see winning 6A. Unfortunately, you know, we're going to see probably HSC and Fishers in the sectional title. Both very good teams. I've had the pleasure of watching HSC. They had an undefeated season this year. I covered the last game that they faced off against Brownsburg, kind of number 1, number 2 situation. HSC they have a squad. You know, if you want to see some good football, I would encourage you to go out. Several high major D1 players. They have an absolute dog in a running back, Jalen Alexander. They have a kid, Styles Prescott. Like, if you guys go see this kid play, he has multiple high major offers. I think some of your teams, when you're talking about your Michigans and your Notre Dames, are looking at this kid. I saw him absolutely plow 3 kids as coming off the left tackle position. So I look for HSC to take it all. I know they're the number 1. That's not really a prediction. They took down Brownsburg, the number 1 team, and Brownsburg really controlled that game. They have a pretty good running back duo, Garrett Sherrill and Caleb Marcus, that they lean on. But in that season finale against HSC, Brownsburg's quarterback went down. Jaden Whitaker, he went down right around halftime. HSC was able to seize that. So I'm just going to call it right now. I like HSC and Brownsburg to meet in Indy for the 6A championship.
I like it.
Nice.
All right, let's shift gears. See if he knows a little bit about the college scene. So we're gonna jump over here.
Not much.
We're gonna jump over here to what's popping in the NCAA. And then what do we got on what's popping?
Georgia rolls again over Vanderbilt. What are you knowing? What are you knowing? Oh shit! Hold on here. Well, that wasn't a good segment. No.
No, it
What's
wasn't.
popping around the league? Brought to you by What's Poppin' Corn Snacks. Check out the best gourmet popcorn around and make your own with your custom labeling. Go to what'spoppincornsnacks.com today. You threw me the hell off, man.
No, it was
Completely
terrible. It
threw me
was
off.
terrible. I will not lie. It was terrible.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, back to what I said, I guess. Vanderbilt gets rolled on by Georgia, the number one team in the nation. I don't see them falling unless we see something happen in the end of the SEC. But it's kind of open. Your Buckeyes were idle, so they remained at number 2 spot. Now, Damon, here's where it gets a little iffy. Your Michigan team pulls out the win, right? Pulls out a big win against the top 10 team.
A dominant win. A dominant win.
A dominant conference rival win, and gets bumped to the 4 spot, and the SEC Tennessee Vols are crept into the Final Four above you guys. Damon, let me hear your thoughts on this.
Here's the consolation. Here's the consolation. The consolation is we moved up a spot, which I don't think we should have dropped anyway. You know what I mean? But the Big Ten, when it comes to football, other than the Buckeyes, no one else gets any true respect in the Big Ten when it comes to the ranking, especially in the top 5. So, you know what? I'm not minding that. Regardless, because you saw the post I put up with the strength of schedule. Like Georgia, Alabama, and Michigan are all in the 70s in strength of schedule. So, and Ohio State as well. So I'm not really worried about that. Now, Tennessee, you earned that. Made number 3, yeah, maybe not. You know, maybe 4, I think, because we haven't done anything to lose our ranking, our dropping.
I agree.
You know what I mean? But, you know,
but
I don't care.
When you talk about strength of schedule, you do look at Tennessee's strength of schedule, and it's like, damn, okay, they do got a gauntlet. So, you know, James, being a Big Ten fan yourself, I know we're talking about a team that you despise, you know, the team up north, quote unquote. But in your opinion, what do you feel about the shift in the rankings from an SEC to the Big Ten type thing when we're dealing with the top 4?
Look, I hate it, man. I have said, and I will continue to say, that there's a SEC bias when it exists in the media. You know, you see these preseason rankings come in. There's 6, 7 teams in the top 15 from the SEC, and it promotes some of those metrics, you know, Damon was talking about in terms of strength of schedule, because some of these teams are just highly overly ranked. You know, I'll take Arkansas, for example. Highly ranked. I don't even think they're ranked anymore. If they are, they're towards the back. They just weren't a good team. And I will even say, and I know some might kill me for saying this, is Alabama really as good as we think they are? We know they have the history. We know they have Nick Saban. Their wide receivers don't look that good, man.
Neither does their defense.
The defense doesn't look good. I do like Will Anderson. He's a stud. You know, that man is a man amongst men. And Gibbs is a man amongst men. Obviously, Bryce Young, but it just doesn't feel like the Alabama teams we're used to. But I still think they get the benefit. A team like Tennessee gets the benefit of jumping up because they beat that Alabama brand. I mean, they snuck by Texas. They got lucky against Texas A&M. These are 2 teams that are, you know, I'll say they're good teams. They're not terrible, but, you know, an elite team doesn't struggle with teams like that.
That's my opinion. Correct. You always you struggle in a half against a team. You know what I'm saying? You do things like that is amazing. The Happy Bill came in a boo bag, a boo container. But Alabama, I think, which like James says, is considerably overrated. They're going to be overrated every year as long as Nick Saban is there and Feinbaum is jacking off Saban every year on ESPN.
Hate that
you
guy.
know what I'm saying? But
He's
And
the
then
Chris
on your,
Collinsworth of NFL analysis.
well, here's the guy.
Without a doubt.
now here's the guy.
Bubba
But you know, I
McFarland.
mean, I don't know. I mean, I just feel that when the Big Ten beats up on itself and the SEC is extremely top heavy between two teams, and every now and then there's a third or maybe a fourth team that skips in there. Overall, as a conference, the SEC ain't really shit. If you think about it.
Hmm,
I'm gonna tell you, a conference is looking really good right now is the ACC, though.
that they are.
I would say the Big 12 too, man. They're playing some really good football. I think we historically think of the Big 12 as just, 1,000-yard passing. No one plays defense, but I'm starting to see some things. They're going to cannibalize each other. They probably won't have a team in that Final Four, but I'm watching on Saturday. I see some good players here.
Well, let's kind of jump to that real quick since you brought it up, and we'll hop back into the ACC because I got something to talk about on that. But talking about TCU, big matchup this weekend. We'll talk about here in a little bit. But the rest of their season, I mean, like you said, they're going to cannibalize each other. They got Texas, Baylor, Iowa State, Texas Tech, West Virginia, and Kansas State this weekend. I don't see them making it out without a loss or two. And I think that they're the only no, they're not. Kansas State. So TCU and Kansas State are undefeated right now.
They lost once to
Yeah, Kansas State
Yeah,
has
yeah.
lost.
I'm sorry. I was looking at
Yeah.
conference. My bad. Yep. They did
TCU
lose.
is the only undefeated in the conference.
Yep. Well, I think, I don't think that they will go undefeated looking at the gauntlet of teams they have to play in the Big 12. I do agree with you, James, on the Big 12 making a come up. Maybe that's to show Texas and Oklahoma and say, bingo, bye-bye, see you later, we don't care and need you type deal. I don't know, but they are playing a little bit better football than what we've seen in the
They're
past.
auditioning.
Defenses. Yes, there's
They're
defenses.
they're auditioning for the third super conference. Is
Yeah.
basically what they're doing.
Yeah,
Those
pretty
teams in the Big 12, those teams in the ACC that are left over with those teams that are left over in the Pac-12 that haven't went SEC or Big 10. All the rest are going to be jumped in there. We're going to have three divisions like the NFL used to. So
Here it comes.
One thing that's the one thing as a Big Ten fan I cannot wait to see is when we open this up, and I think it's 2023. I can't wait to see Florida State, Georgia coming up to Ann Arbor, Michigan, in December and playing football. I think that's going to be a great equalizer. Too long the Big Ten has had to go down to Texas. We go down to Georgia. We go down to Florida in bowl games. I just can't wait, man. I'm looking.
well,
forward
we won't be seeing that no time soon. Those teams are not going to come up here and play. I think what you're referring to is those teams on the SEC. I mean, out west.
I'm speaking in terms of when they open that playoff field and it goes to 12. At least I've heard that is gonna, those higher ranked teams are gonna have one of those first round games as a home game. Yeah,
that is true. That is true.
Yep.
Now, that's going to be fun.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look forward to that, man. I want to see Alabama in Ann Arbor with the snow and see what's really going on, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the Florida, the Southern boys, Texas, Georgia, all the boys who like that open field. I mean, that ground hurts in Columbus. It hurts in that shithole.
It's gonna be a different game, man.
Different game. Let's see what else we got. We was talking about the ACC.
Yep.
Syracuse, surprising. Syracuse keeps surprising. I was the lone guy who picked them last week against North Carolina State. So I was feeling pretty good about Syracuse. They got a nice thing going up there.
Yep, they do got a hell of a matchup this week. Two of the unbeatens facing each other, big rivals in their conference, and I believe they are at. Is it? Yes, it's at Clemson.
They're at Clemson.
That's going to be a hell of a matchup. I'm going to talk about a little bit more when we get to our picks, so I don't want to spoil anything that I got for that. James, what are you thinking of the ACC overall?
Yeah, I like the ACC overall. I have some cousins that are big fans of the U. With the Hurricanes. I really expected them to do big things with the kid's name, TVD, Tyler Van Dyke. Unfortunately, they crashed and burned. They crashed and burned. I do like what I'm seeing out of Wake Forest. They have a really good quarterback. They came up just short to Clemson a couple weeks back.
Yep.
The Sam
Overtime,
kid,
I believe, right?
yeah, really close game. So I do see that play improving. Definitely to Damon's point. Auditions going on here for that next super conference here is kind of what we're seeing. Florida State was a team I was hoping would bounce back, but they really haven't quite got over the hump there.
They're almost
Real close. Yeah.
One more year for Florida State. One more year.
Feel like we've been saying that.
Yeah.
Yep. I tried.
Yep.
Ever since Jameis Winston left, man, it hasn't been the same.
There wasn't no more crab legs. Okay, last thing before we let Dan have his floor. We keep everything that we thought of back to Pac-12 has happened, has not happened, has happened again, and has not happened one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Who thought the UCLA would be the lone holdout for the Pac-12 maybe making the Final Four?
Wow. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm speechless on UCLA being the team. Southern Cal was coming in tough at the beginning of the season. Utah, obviously, I had them in the Final Four at the beginning of the season.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, oops. God, I mean, it's any given weekend. That is the key right there. Any given weekend, any team can get beat. Any team can get hot. And that's all it takes. You got 60 minutes to play. How hard are you going to play for 60 minutes?
You ready, Dan?
I've been waiting.
You have the floor to talk about Notre Dame.
Okay.
And all of its
I'm
golden
gonna
glory.
No, Damon, I'm going to make this really short, simple, and sweet. I used to go up to Notre Dame games every year. I didn't miss a year. The environment around South Bend, around the stadium, around the campus. I mean, you walked everywhere, to the grotto, to the basilica, to touchdown Jesus, to first down Moses, to the lake, and you see St. Mary's and all this around, and you get the vibe of, man, this is a hell of a feeling. Where the fuck is it, folks? Because it's missing. That team has zero heart. I'm not saying it's a coaching problem. I'm not saying it's a staffing problem. I'm not saying it's a talent problem. I'm saying it's a heart problem. I watched that team literally score, and I'm like, all right, the feel in the fans, the feel in the stadium, the thunder echoing. Took a shit within 2.5 minutes and did nothing. We're not talking about playing a team that it's Army. I'm sorry, God love the military, but Army's not a good football team. You beat BYU the way you did the week before. I told you earlier this year, Marshall, they had talent on the team. The coach came from a talented team. He has the knowledge and the history, the talent that they recruited over to Marshall. Yes, you may have not thought about it. It surprised me that they won, but they had the talent. I'm sorry, Stanford is shit, and you got beat by a shit team. Period. Point blank. I'm so glad I witnessed it, because now I know that team has this much heart. And until that heart comes back, and until you get your head out of your prideful asses up at South Bend, you will not be what you ever wanted to be again.
Stanford, bro. Hey, you just saved that man's job. That man was gonna lose his job at the end of this year. That win saved that man's job for one more season.
I apologize. I'm gonna have to put a parental advisory sticker on tonight's show, folks. But good Lord,
Hey, what do you think is the problem up in South Bend,
me or James?
James?
Okay.
Well, we already know what you think.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Story franchise, obviously going way back. When I argue with Notre Dame fans, I argue with Michigan fans, you always hear that line, most wins ever. And, both those teams kind of stand up there. I say that's irrelevant now in 2022, but I digress. When I watched Notre Dame play Ohio State this year, I saw a team that had a strong defense, very strong defense. I think it was a 10-7 game at halftime. Ohio State couldn't move the ball. They were stymied. They switched things up, obviously, second half. Obviously, Ohio State went to the win, but I really thought I thought I saw a 10-win team. They're on the defense alone. Maybe some of me thought you struggle because Ohio State's defense was a little bit better too. So, I thought, but when I saw Marshall the next week, I absolutely hate to say this. It's a coaching problem. I like Marcus Freeman. He's a Buckeye. I want to see him succeed. It reminds me a little bit of when Luke Fickell coached the Buckeyes. He got that job after Jim Tressel was summarily dismissed due to the tattoo scandal, which shouldn't have happened, but I won't bring that up again. But Luke Fickell, obviously, we see he's had a lot of success in Cincinnati, making them into a national program. I think Marcus, I just think it's too much too soon for him. If he was coaching at a smaller school where you have to manage the media, you have to manage players, you have to manage that recruiting process, which we really haven't seen him in full bore recruiting yet. But I just think it's a little bit too much too soon. I think he's a talented coach. I don't think he cannot lead this team back to where you want to be, but I just think he's just not there yet. So I put it at his feet. I hate to see him get fired, but I think even if you do let him go, he goes maybe to a middle tier program, builds him up, he'll be right back in it. But that's kind of what I see. You got the talent, you have the facilities. Kind of little dirty secret. Do you have the NIL money? Because we know that's flowing at schools like Ohio State, at schools like Michigan and Alabama and Georgia. So I haven't heard that NIL money flowing at Notre Dame. I mean, that might be an issue. I don't know.
NIL money is not floating in Michigan, at least not on the football team. Harbaugh's not best of
he's not.
We have that Roman Catholic money, man. That's never ending. Just put it in the basket and pass it on.
Okay, so maybe that's not the issue.
You got that little boy money.
Oop, hey.
You got that little altar boy money.
Oh man.
Okay, so that takes care of our NCAA. Dan, we jumped over Revved Up Ridiculousness, so I guess we're going to have to go back to that real quick.
All right.
That's
Revved
a good. Yep. That's a good segue in between college and
that was good, and you threw it at me the way I understood it that time. I got you. Revved Up Ridiculousness brought to you by Revved Up Tattoo. When it comes to body ink, go somewhere where quality work and you feel comfortable being at. For your next ink or piercing therapy session, call 317-537-2667 today. Tell them the boys at BW Sports 1 sent ya.
All right, Dan, you go first.
Baron Browning. Wonderful Denver team. Just a little chuckle before I enter anymore. Picks off Justin Herbert, goes about 5 yards, fumbles it, and manages to recover the fumble on his own. Did either one of you guys see this during the game?
I happen to be watching that ridiculousness.
Wow. It's like, what in the hell are you doing?
You shouldn't have had that play as the ridiculousness. The whole damn game should have been ridiculousness.
Well, let's get into one of our other questions here in the next segment. Oh, mercy.
Hey, the one I had was why the hell is Robert Kraft having a wedding in the middle of the season? One, we ain't gonna talk about the little gold digger that's 50 years younger than him that he's marrying. That's beside the point. But Tom Brady right there in there
I
caused a
bet
whole
she
bunch
was
of
from the
controversy.
massage therapy place.
That got swept
Hey.
under the rug. We hear about Deshaun
Hey,
Watson,
but listen, those are two different situations. Robert, the spa was under investigation,
Spa.
not
That's right.
Robert Kraft.
I got you. Yeah.
He
Right.
just happened to be collateral damage.
Right. Yeah, we'll go with that.
I mean, just hey. No one said the old man pitched my booty and I'm gonna tell the world.
Good point. Good
They
point.
said the guest list included Robert Kraft. All right, so I hate to speak nice of a patriot. That's terrible.
killing this. What do you guys think about what's going on with Daniel Snyder having private investigators following the owners, following the commissioner? I think that's ridiculous, but kind of curious in your thoughts.
That's goddamn player.
Oh,
I'm not a
player.
fan of Snyder at all, but that's some player shit. I told you, people be having people, man, they work with too much money not to have aces in the hole, man.
Let's just say it's going to get really nasty really quick. And one of our next bulletins in our segment is going to kind of pinpoint this issue. And wow, is all I got to say for this moment right now is wow.
All right, so we're jumping back into what's popping, and this time we're diving into the NFL. And so what that breaks it down to is pin it or punt it. So we got a couple subjects, and the thing is you either pin it or you punt that shit away. First up, the 5-1 Giants, are they for real in the NFC East?
James, your call. Pin or punt?
I guess maybe for this segment, I'll go ahead and make a quick wardrobe change, just in case we're talking about 5-1 teams here. So I'm sorry. I know one person here has the upper hand here.
I was going to say, what are you sorry for?
I won't say too much. The Giants, I'm gonna go ahead and punt it, man. They had a great run. I think we're gonna see them start coming back down to earth. The quarterback play is terrible. Danny Dimes, he can run around. He can make a play or two here. They're rolling out wide receivers I've never heard of. Just week after week, guys getting hurt, going down. Really good defense, though. It appears really a really good coach with Brian Dable. I still see them ending the season 8-9. Is kind of my prediction here going forward, but certainly a good start and something to build on in the future.
As I'm looking at their schedule coming up, I am going to pin that they are for real because the only teams that I see that would give them fits, honestly, for the rest of the season are your Vikings and the other teams in the NFC East. They do have to play us twice. They got to play Washington twice. Okay, that's maybe a 2-0 or a 1-1. They do have to play Cowboys again, but they got Texans, Lions, Jaguars, Colts. I mean, that whole division sucks for one, and then you get the Lions right now, who, good Lord, they're lost. I would say pin it.
I'm gonna have to punt it. As much as I would love to pin it, I'm gonna have to punt it just because of the schedule. You know what I mean? I think that the teams that they have to play are teams that can be wishy-washy. Like you can get the Colts that beat Kansas City, or you can get the Colts that lost to Jacksonville. You can get the Jacksonville that beat the Chargers, or you can get the Jacksonville that lost to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna punt that one away. I'm gonna punt it. I don't believe in Saquon's thighs the whole season.
Yeah.
So let's move it down. Hey, are we at the Jets? The Jets 4-2.
Jets, Jets. Hide your mamas.
Me personally, I'm punting this one too. just because at some point in time, Greenberg's Jets balloon is going to fizzle out.
I'm with you, man. I'm punting this one. For one, you can play the Bills twice this season still. That's a sweep. I don't see them losing. The Bills losing to the Jets. They got to play the Vikings. The rest of the season is going to be a gauntlet for them. They're not going to last long at all.
I'm gonna blame it. I like the coach. Salam really energized. It seems like his team's buying in. What I kind of see with them that I don't see with the Giants is defense and run game. Two young running backs with Brees Hall, Michael Carter. What I think will be a good quarterback in Zach Wilson. I think that's about the best quarterback they've probably had in a long time. He's going to make some mistakes, of course, but I kind of see this being one of those teams that may sneak into the playoffs as a 7th seed. I'm thinking 9, 10 wins.
Wow.
Write that down. We can come back to it.
Wow.
Delete the tapes if it doesn't happen.
Wow.
But
we'll put it on bloopers.
Good one. All right. So here's a good one. Jalen Hurts, after the Cowboys win, should he be in the MVP conversation?
My question in the notes: why was he not already?
I have nothing to do with him.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Why isn't he already? Why wasn't he, for the past couple weeks? I mean, we're early in the season. Anything can happen. But if we're talking about MVP, how can you not talk about Jalen Hurts right now?
I thought you'd be hesitant to put him in the MVP conversation after what we know happened with your boy Carson Wentz. Several years ago, had that spectacular season in which you beat my Minnesota Vikings, unfortunately, to en route to the Super Bowl. But he had that great season and kind of fell off. I like Jalen Hurts. I like the talent. And I'm saying this with a straight face with the Vikings hat on as he decimated my team. But what has he really done? Obviously, team 6-0. I'm not going to take that from him. He's looked great, but what has he done to bring his team back and really kind of put the team on his shoulders? I guess I haven't seen that from him yet. Not to say he's not capable. I think to be an MVP, we need to see that the rest of the team looked horrible, but Jalen just went and put the team on his back and they won the game. We haven't seen that yet. Maybe we will.
Is it his fault that the other teams can't compete with our team so far? My bad.
Got a point.
I don't know. This one, I would love to push. I would love to give a push on this, but I can't. I have to do one or the other. So right now, I am going to pin it, but I'm not going to push it all the way in the push board, because I feel that he's just flip-flop with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson trying to do too much has played himself out of that conversation. So I am going to put it on the board. There we go.
Just the tip. He's using just the tip.
Yeah, just the tip.
We've seen Lamar Jackson throw that cape on, though. I have not seen Jalen Hurts throw on the cape. So I'm gonna have to punt it until I see that. Until I see the Superman just full on, I will will this team to victory, and we might see it yet. So,
and we already know Dan's pitted it. So, which makes me skip a couple that we'll come back to, because I brought his name up. Is Lamar Jackson's hunger to prove his worth now hurting his team's chance to win?
I am going to pin it right now. I think he is maybe not necessarily forcing himself, but maybe the team is forcing this out of him because he's not getting a lot of help. And I understand that that's why he is on the top of the MVP charts, because of what he's done for his team. Like you said, James, putting the rest of your team on his back. Guarantee him 100%. I can't take that away from him. But what I can do is pin your comment because I agree with he is outworking his way from his team being successful.
I'll put it myself, definitely for the reasons you said. Um, I had Lamar Jackson on my fantasy team. He was putting up 60 and 70 points, but it wasn't translating to wins, for the team. And I blame the team for him being in that place. They should have paid this man at this point, MVP candidate. Definitely one of the top 5 quarterbacks, in my opinion, in the NFL. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna pin it.
I'm going to clarify what he means. He's blaming the organization. He's not blaming the team.
Correct.
The
The organization's got to put the team in place for him.
Yeah. All right, let's speed it on here. You know what? I don't even care about. Yeah, you know what? He's a Minnesota fan, so let's talk about it. Green Bay doesn't win the NFC North.
I'm gonna 115% pin that. It is interesting that we got to hear all the love affairs, ESPN, other media outlets with Aaron Rodgers, how great he is. You take away a talent like Devontae Adams. I've heard the arguments that Adams was made by Favre. You take him away, this team is different. They still have a great D, still have a great run game. Why are they not winning? I don't get it. I don't get it. So as great as number 12 is, I can't name him by name. I'll just call him number 12, the other number 12, because I don't name the other number 12 either. I'm gonna go ahead and pin that. They don't win the NFC North.
I'm gonna pin it with you. I think that your boys are going to be the top candidates now, and I think that Aaron Rodgers potentially could be the cancer of the organization right now. I just think that there may be too much prima donna-esque stuff surrounding him, kind of like you said. Everybody talks about how great he is, and I'm not taking anything away from his ability on the field. We've all seen him do what he's done so well for over the years. Maybe his time's up. Maybe he's just not. He doesn't have it in him like a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees that has gone longevity longer than now because he's 36, 37. He's getting up there. Maybe his time's done.
Well, I don't think his time is done. You can see what he's done as of last year, that he is very capable of doing what he's always done. You can see it at times this year. He's very capable of doing it always done. He just doesn't have the people to reap those benefits always done. He's still putting that ball down the field. He's still putting that ball in them boys' hands. He's still making the right reads. They are not doing the things with him. So I'm not going to say that he can't do it in a long stint of time because he's been there for damn near 15, 16 years. So he's had the longevity. But I do not think that he can wield these guys to where he can be in a position to put them to challenge them for that crown. When I saw them lose to the Jets, yeah, I was pretty much done. I was pretty much done with Aaron. But what do you mean potentially be a cancer? He has been the cancer since LaFleur has been there. He's held the Green Bay organization hostage, bro. And now those hostage tactics are coming back to bite him in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they won't get Odell Beckham. And that's why he'll go to St. Louis. Back to the Rams and not Dallas.
Ooh.
I said it. All right. So last thing, Irsay. That's the whole thing I got on there is Irsay. And I'm gonna go first on this one.
You go
first on this one.
He's pinning it.
You know what? I know I am one of the people who all in Irsay shit. I do. I always make jokes about his pill popping ass and all them crazy stuff. You know what I mean? But the one thing I can say with Ursay, you will never hear anything about him mistreating or having anything in his organization that has any improprieties that go with racism, bigotry, anything has to do with negative towards women or anything like that. That's not a thing that Ursay or his family has ever done since they stole the team from Baltimore. So I do think Ursay has a complete leg to stand on because the only thing he's done is pop some pills, bro. I think okay, he popped some pills and drove down Carmel Boulevard. Woo! Whoa, oh my God, I was driving too slow down Carmel Boulevard, which is 30 miles an hour anyway. But Snyder is on a level of things. Well, yeah, you owners should get this man out of here. You know what I mean? If you want to go all the way back to the Redskins type shit, you know, the name change, which I didn't have a problem with, but his bigotry there, you know what I mean? And then you had an investigation, and now he's buying spies and he's telling you that he's buying spies. You know what I mean? Jerry Jones, the most crooked dude in the thing. He said, hey, I can't protect you no more, bro. So Ursay has every right to do that because this is now their name that's being drugged through the mud as the owners because of the stuff that he's doing in his organization.
Go for it, James.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You know, I do respect Ursay and some of the owners. I will contend as good as you set him up, being a humanitarian, you know, a man of the community. I know he's donated millions and millions of dollars, obviously, to the Indianapolis community. I kind of do put Ursay, and I know maybe a little off. I do put him in that Jerry Jones owner is meddling too much with the team, and I know that's more specific to the Colts and kind of where they are. Um, I don't like him coming out to the media, and maybe the owners got together and said, "Ursay, you're going to be the spokesperson," you know, and putting down that dog of Daniel Snyder. I didn't like those comments. You know, I'm more of, hey, keep that fraternity close, keep the dirty laundry internal. You know, I've seen the alleged letter that Daniel Snyder sent to all the owners. You know, talking about ESPN's lying about everything, but you know, some owners, I kind of like my owners owning the team, letting their folks do, and staying out of the way. Ursay is a guy that kind of wants to have that spotlight on himself a little bit, and you know, I don't know if that's the key to success, but I do like Ursay. I just think he's part of the problem specifically with the Colts. But if he's the attack dog, if you will, to get Daniel Snyder out, I definitely pin that.
I'm agreeing with exactly what he just said right there, James. That ending part, he is part of the problem here at the home team. Damon, I'm agreeing with you. What he's done is not to the extent. It's not. There's lines crossed, but there's not crossing those lines that you can never get back from type lines. He's never crossed those, which is cool. He is a part of the organization's issues, though, because he does want that spotlight, limelight. But again, like you said, James, if he is part of the attack dog to get Snyder out, so be it.
Hey, the owners vote, man. That's all you gotta do. That's what y'all do. Y'all vote. Hey, girl, you gotta get him. Hey, listen, the NBA, he the big gone, bro.
The NBA don't play, man. Yeah, you're gone quick.
Hey, you need to sell your shit, bro.
Right? Done deal.
That
Bye-bye.
deal.
The reality is these guys lose their team and they cash in billions of dollars. So it's not like a punishment. I mean, maybe it's a power thing, but you know, Daniel Snyder's gonna have to sell his team. He's gonna put $10 billion in his pocket, you know, and still be okay. So
you go start another company and touch somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. All right, so here's where we all love to do. This is time to get into our picks. This is where we close out the show. We picked three NCAA games and we picked three NFL games. and the whole network gets in on it, and we pick our games. I did get your emoji, but I didn't get it over to Dad to get it manipulated properly to get it on the thing as a guest speaker. Yeah, because I started watching the baseball game for some odd reason. And speaking of that, it is final. Padres did beat Philly. So that is now tied at 1. And the Yankees and the Astros are tied at 1 at the top of the 4th.
I just want to point something out. If you
Yes.
look across the panel, there's 3 teams or 3 people in the network that are tied with first at 28-12 on their picks. All 3 Philadelphia Eagles fans. Mic drop there. That's all I got to say. Let's move on, Damon. Let's get into these picks.
Here's the damn current standings. These are the correct standings. I sent the wrong ones out to the network earlier today. I'm like, none of those math numbers add up. So here are the correct standings. I am still in last place. I am not the only one under 500, but we're getting better. We're getting better. Last week was my best week that I've had. So we're picking good. So we're going to get into our picks. Doc Sports, BW Sports Network picks of the week. Text BW Sports. That is text BWSPORTS to 29022 for your free $60 in picks. Yay! Mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag. All that good stuff. Check it out. All right, so first game up, fellas. First game up is number 4, Syracuse 6-0 at Clemson. Number 5, 7-0. Noon game ABC. James, who you got?
Yeah, I'm picking Clemson to win this game in Death Valley. They're tough to beat. I still think they struggle. You know, if I'm betting on this game, I say back to Orange, 2 touchdown underdogs. Sean Tucker, one of the best running backs in the country. Give me Cuse to cover and Clemson to win.
There we have it. And look
Bam!
at him. He's trying. He's pulling it out. He's rooting for Syracuse. I'm going to tell you folks now, I'm picking Clemson at the moment. It was very, very interesting looking this over, though. I was almost tempted to pick Syracuse because I really think, James, I agree with you. If you're betting on this, take the points in Syracuse now before they start to go down because I don't see them. I do not see them, Clemson, covering the spread at all. If they even win, but I'm going to stick with my pick.
Not the way they've looked the last couple of weeks. I know they're still undefeated, but they've struggled at some of these games, man. They struggled to some of these ranked teams in the ACC. So I know this one is in Death Valley, but it's not a night game. So I think Syracuse has a very good chance if they can dominate the run game with that electric running game they have. Man, they're conjuring the Donovan McNabb spirits, man. I'm telling you, watch out for these cues. All right, so we're moving on to the second game. The 20th ranked Texas Longhorns 5-2 at 11th ranked Oklahoma State 5-1. 3:30 tip off ABC. Battle of the White Helmets.
James.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing this quarterback matchup. I think the scoreboard is going to break in this game. Spencer Sanders, Quinn Ewers, former Buckeye, I might add, leading the way for the Texas Longhorns. You got Bijan Robinson. I'm taking Texas, though. I think Texas is going to win the Big 12 here, and at the end of the year, they have 1 loss, might have a threat to be in that Final Four. I'm taking Texas 42-35.
Ouch! With 2 losses, a 2-loss Big 12 team, sir. I don't know about you. Now, I had a lot of respect for you until that moment. No, I'm joking. Well, there's a few OSU folks in here. Look at that.
Yeah, I just like the whooping that Texas put on Oklahoma. It was very impressive. It showed you the Texas that we were looking to see early in the year before the quarterback got hurt, and all the pressure then went onto their running back. And now with their quarterback back, they have this opportunity they can go out and get things done. So I do like Texas finishing out Oklahoma State.
Agreed.
And then so we move on to game 3, another Big 12 barn burner. We got 17 Kansas State 5-1 at number 8 TCU 6-0. I don't think TCU has been in the top 10 since LaDainian Tomlin. Who you got, Jay?
I'm going with Kansas State in this one. You know, I like their defense. I like what they have done. I know they have dropped the one game. I think their defense is anti-Big 12. I think they're number 14 in the nation defensive-wise. You know, I like what TC is doing. I like their coach, their ability to put up points with Max Duggan. But yeah, give me K-State 21-17.
Wow, listen to you. And the whole panel is against you this time. We don't usually get an all panel agreeing here. I think that TCU's offense will just I think the defense of Kansas State has been threatened already this season, but I don't think that they honestly have seen an offense in the Big 12 like TCU will show them. It is a night game at home for the Horned Frogs. TCU is going to pull it out.
I went TCU for one reason only, because I've spent time down in Texas and I've partied at TCU. TCU in the 90s was in the top 5 of party schools in the country. Yes, Texas Christian University. Let's go.
Yes, man.
There we go.
All right, so let's jump into the pro side. First game up, we got the 3-2 Colts at the 3-2 Titans. This is a battle for the first place in the AFC South.
Aren't the Colts 3-2-1?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Don't forget that one, folks.
Yeah, they are. You're absolutely correct. Ooh, they got me.
James, who you got?
Give me the fighting Jim Irsay's in this game. I think we get a healthy Jonathan Taylor. I think, and it's hard saying it, Shaquille Leonard will be coming back off of injury there. So I like them maybe a little bit more full strength with that retread, Matt Ryan at quarterback. But give me the Colts.
Wow. A lot of Titans fans across the panel this week. I just think that, like you said, that to add plus the injuries that Tennessee is seeing this week, a lot of questionables. Now, I know there's some questionables for the Colts, but you got a few key players kind of in that offense out. Both offense and defense for Tennessee on injured reserve, not coming back this year. I think they're going to be hurting. I don't think that their offensive run game will work as good as they're thinking. I think Colts pulled out on defense.
I just think the Colts win, man. I'm just not feeling Tennessee this year. I told you that in our pregame. I just didn't like none of the dynamic that was going on with Tennessee. Yep. So, yeah, there you go. All right. Game 2. It's another it's a 3-3 battle. You know, you got the team that should be expected to be better, and the team is doing better than what we've expected. So you got the 3-3 Falcons and the 3-3 Bengals, 3:30 ABC.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go against what the panel you're showing is thinking. Give me Atlanta, man. Give me Atlanta. I've liked what I've seen from them so far. Yes, Marcus Mariota is not the greatest quarterback ever. They are able to run the ball. They got Drake London, really nice wide receiver. The defense is playing well. they're just rolling out dudes from everywhere to be in their backfield, and it's working. So I think they control the game. Wow. I think they control the game, and I think they take the Bengals just haven't looked right. Yes, they were in the Super Bowl. Their offensive line is terrible. We know they have skill position players. We know Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, obviously another former Buckeye there with the quarterback. But something just tells me the Falcons.
Only reason I picked them, honestly, is because they were at home. I don't think Atlanta's a real good away opponent this year. For some reason, I just got the feeling this week, go Bengals, go Joe, go.
I picked it because I wasn't picking Atlanta. I like Pitts. I think Pitts is going to be really good. I'm not a negative against Mariota. I just think he's not a starting quarterback. He's just basically transitioning to Ritter is ready to take over. Atlanta in 2 years would be a decent team. But yeah, I just feel that Cincinnati will figure it out, man. I just think they'll figure it out. And what a good team to figure it out against.
Good point.
From the NFC South, so
yeah,
stranger things.
All right, last game. You got the 2-3 Bears, the Bears, at the 3-3 Patriots. 8:15 ESPN. This is the Monday night game.
I'm sure this is a game we all expected to see at the beginning of the year. Bailey Zappi versus Justin Fields, in prime time on Monday night. I actually like Bailey. I don't know if he's going to be playing or Mac Jones will be back, but give it up to New England. They find a way. Defense, I think they're just going to run all over the Bears, unfortunately, and with my boy Justin Fields there. So give me the Patriots in a dominating shutout win.
Ooh,
damn!
He said dominating shutout win. And we got some people pulling for the Bears this week. I could see it because the Patriots are a little banged up, but I just don't have faith in a banged up Fields. That's the difference. I mean,
I don't have a dog in either one of these fights.
Nope.
So I would normally go with the Patriots, but the Michigan man is not there. So I'm going to go with, so that should mean I shouldn't go for Chicago either.
Right.
But no, I don't know. Is this something I like Chicago better in this situation? I think Justin Fields has an enormous amount of talent. I just hope that these shitty ass coaches and this shitty ass organization doesn't mess up this kid's career. That's all I'm hoping. But I'm still going for the Bears.
There you have it. There you have it. The network has spoken once again, folks. James, thank you for coming on, even though you're wearing that nasty ass purple stuff.
Appreciate it, fellas. I don't know, Buckeye, Viking. Which one should we go with?
Remember, before you cut out off air, I got something to tell you. So don't leave. But before we all go, James, tell everybody again where you can be found.
Yeah, no, like I said, check me out in the Hamilton County Reporter. I report there. You can follow me on Twitter at James C. As you see there with my name on Twitter. A lot of good insights. Hopefully, we'll see after some of those picks. You'll see my football knowledge there when I come out undefeated for the week. So appreciate you guys having me.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Oh, yeah.
So I want you guys to get used to seeing his face. He'll see him back throughout the year to talk football and also to talk high school football to let us know how the state tournament is progressing. So it was great to hear that insight. I appreciate you, man, coming on. Yeah, awesome. Dan, what you got?
I had my enough rant earlier in the Notre Dame deal, so I'm good. I'll pass. I'm gonna push.
Then I'll push too. You know what I mean? No, my one good thing. What is it? The one thought tonight? No, the one's up. The one's up. My one's up is thanks for all the birthday shots out. I appreciate you folks. It's amazing to know that you've touched that many people throughout your life, that you have that good a character, that many people I will have some nice things to say about you and to give you good greetings and wishes. So I appreciate it. So that's what we got for the ones up. So make sure you check out the others.
Checkers
Maybe.
and
There we go.
Rickers, State of Basketball, Super Kicking It with Steven, Just a Bit Outside, Combat Zone, and us here at Dukes of Football. Damon, James, it's been a wonderful night. And until next time, Damon, tell them what do we do?
We keep indie sporty, baby.
And there she was. That is the Pew Pew Girl, and I'm hitting the button.